Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca and welcome to my grotto. Today I'm doing the Disneyland book tag. Not the Disney book tag, not the Disney tag, but the Disneyland book tag. So this is an original tag. I tried looking on the interwebs to see if anybody had ever made a Disneyland book tag and I did not find it. So if I missed it, I am so sorry. So the reason for this book tag is that I'm actually going to Disneyland at the end of this month. Me and my girlfriend have annual passes and we usually go about every other month, give or take. Last couple times we've gone with friends and family, and so we kind of just wanted a trip for ourselves, so we were like, we're going. And on top of that, my girlfriend really wanted to catch the Main Street Electrical Parade, and I'm excited for the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout and to meet Groot. So of course we're just gonna make a really quick 1.5 day trip out there, and I'm really excited. So the way this book tag works is that there is a part of Disneyland that has a book question that goes with it. You talk about that part of Disneyland and you also answer the book question with a book that you feel applies best to that question. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully once I start doing it, you guys will kind of understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and try and pick out books that are not popular in the booktube community. So there are a couple that I picked out that are popular, and it was hard for me to pick any other book but the books that I picked. So just if you decide to do this tag, go ahead and try and do books that are not popular in the booktube community. Number 1, favorite dark ride. A book while reading felt like you were literally in that world. So my favorite dark ride in Disneyland probably has to be Peter Pan, but my answer switches from Peter Pan to the Winnie the Pooh ride in Critter Country because Peter Pan is my absolute favorite Disney movie. However, I really love that Winnie the Pooh ride. It's freaking adorable. So I kind of go back and forth, but as of right now, I think Peter Pan's my favorite dark ride. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is like a suspense novel. So of course the title on this kind of just speaks itself what it's about. My best friend's exorcism. 2 girls in the 80s. One gets possessed by a demon, which is Gretchen, and then Abby, who is really concerned for Gretchen. I was so concerned for Gretchen and the way Abby dealt with everything and the things that Gretchen did. Like I felt like I was part of this friend group, and it was insane. It was an insane ride, you guys. Like I was all the way in this book world. I mean, it's in the 80s, so it's not like a very sci-fi world or anything crazy, but just the way it was written, it really made me feel for the characters. And when I was done reading it, I had to take a second to come back to reality because the whole time I was just like freaking out about Gretchen and the things she was doing and how cray she was. Number 2, favorite thrill ride. A book with sharp plot twists and unexpected drops. So my favorite my favorite thrill ride is probably Space Mountain. I can't choose between Space Mountain and Splash Mountain. Like those two go hand in hand for me, and I always like go back and forth, but I think right now I'm gonna go ahead and say Space Mountain. And for my unexpected twists and plots, I'm gonna say Caraval. This book took me in an adventure. I had no idea what was what, who was part of the game, who was not part of the game. It just like the whole time when I thought I had it figured out, I totally did not. You thought you know what was going to happen, and you thought you could see ahead, and you were like, I know what's going to happen. I know there's going to be a drop up there. No, you were wrong. Where you thought there was going to be a drop, there wasn't. And where you thought there wasn't going to be a drop, there was one. So this is the one I'm going to call my thrill ride. Number 3, foodie. Favorite food. A book you took your time reading because it was so delicious. So my favorite food in Disneyland is probably the Monte Cristo at the Blue Bayou. My mouth is just watering thinking of that Monte Cristo. Yeah. And as far as snacks go, I think the Dole Whip. If you could eat magic, it would taste like Dole Whip. Yes, it would. For my book, I'm going to say The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. So this follows a boy who goes into this town, is a random little town in the middle of nowhere, and he goes in claiming that he is the devil. The townspeople find out that the devil is amongst them. They freak out, events happen, and it just goes crazy. But this book is The way it's written, it's so beautiful. I took my time with this, not only for the writing, but just like the plot and the themes in this book. There's like family theme, there's a little bit of LGBT in there, and it was so delicious. I took my time reading this book. Number 4, meeting characters. What group of characters would you want to meet / be a part of? So I love meeting characters at Disneyland, and I'm going to say that my favorite character to meet was probably Chewbacca. I love Chewie. He is like my all-time favorite. Like, I absolutely freaking love him. I when I met him, it was right after The Force Awakens had just come out, and of course I was in tears meeting him just because of the whole Han Solo thing, and I was just freaking out, and so I'm just like hugging him and crying, and so that was my like Disney magic moment right there, meeting Chewie. As far as the group of people that I want to be friends with or characters that I want to meet that are from books, I'm gonna go ahead and say from the series A Court of Thorn and Roses, but technically it's the Court of Mist and Fury book, but it's from the series, and of course it's Rysand's family. I can't. Cassian and Moore and Feyre, like, I just want to be friends with all of them. Like, if I could be a part of anybody's friend group or family, these would be the characters that I would want to be a part of, or even just meet. If I could meet them, that would be so badass, dude. Oh my god, I'm about to start fangirling, so I'm gonna stop right there. Number 5, souvenir. What book stuck with you for a while after reading? So as far as my souvenirs, like favorite souvenirs to get in the park, I'd probably say mugs. I really like collecting mugs, and I've been trying to work on my mug collection. So I'll probably say mugs, but I also really love the pins. I collect pins, and I have like 4 lanyards just bursting full of pins. So it's probably between mugs and pins. Like, those are my 2 things to buy at Disneyland when I'm there. And the book that stuck with me forever, and I've read this book about a year ago, and it's still like taunts me. I still think about it, and I don't know anybody who's read this book. So if you have read this book, please talk to me about it, because it's like really messed with my mind. And that is A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. It is so unique. I have never read anything like this. This is like a suspense psychological thriller. It's like alternating timelines, like it's in the present and then it talks about the past. 2 sisters, Marjorie and Mary. Marjorie is the youngest sister, and this is Marjorie telling the story of her past when Mary was starting to show signs of schizophrenia, and her parents were really concerned and didn't know what to do, and so, you know, they started to call priests and doctors, and they were like, we don't know what's wrong with her. But then a priest gets involved, and the priest kind of thinks that there's some kind of demonic possession happening. So this is Marjorie talking about that past and like what had happened to her sister, but the whole time that they're trying to deal with like Mary's demonic possession, it's being recorded for a TV show because they need the money to take care of Mary. And so Marjorie is talking about her experience throughout this whole event that happened when she was a child, but the ending is insane. Like, number 6, favorite show, entertainment, parade. A book that was over the top that you enjoy / disliked. So my favorite show is probably World of Color. I love World of Color. It makes me cry like a little baby every single time. And for my book that was over the top that I enjoy / dislike and that I enjoyed, I don't have a copy with me because I let my friend borrow it, and it's been a minute, but it is Dog on It by Spencer Quinn. This is a mystery novel, but it's told in the perspective of a dog, and it is so over the top. Like, the entire thing from start to ending, it's in the perspective of a dog. So it's insane. It's actually really freaking adorable, and there is mystery to it because it's a detective and his dog, and so the dog Chet is basically taking you along and telling you what's going on in his perspective, and so a lot of it is you having to put pieces together because he's a dog and he only knows so much. And it's just freaking cute because he'll be in the middle of something and like trying to just figure something out, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I smell something, and it's just so over the top and it's adorable. It's a really quick read, and I recommend it to anybody who's a dog lover and who loves mysteries because it's just a really cute book. It's number 7, shopping. Which book did you go and buy the day it was published? So let me start off with my favorite store in all of the Disneyland Resort is probably going to be World of Disney, which is actually not in Disneyland, but it's in the downtown Disney district, and it just has everything. It has everything. It's like 5 stores put together, and you have everything from kids stuff to adult stuff to home decor to absolutely everything you can think of. It's all there, and stuff that you probably see in the park you probably see there as well. So I really like that store because it's like a one-stop place. I'm going to go ahead and say Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I actually, for the bookstore that I work at, we had a midnight event going on for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, so I bought that at midnight on the day of the release. Number 8, favorite land. Excuse you, favorite book place. So, if you couldn't tell by the change of ears, my favorite land is actually Cars Land. I love Cars Land. I've always loved Cars because my little brother was obsessed with it when it came out, and so I watched it 1,000 times because he would watch it obsessively nonstop. So then I just grew to love it, and then when I went to Cars Land for the first time, I was obsessed. I freaking love Cars Land. And my favorite book world is, of course, gonna be Harry Potter. The Harry Potter world. What other book would I have to say for this? Like, I know I said that I was gonna try and stick to non-popular books, but there's no other answer but the Harry Potter world. There's no other place I would want to be but the Harry Potter world. Number 9, long line. What's the longest book you own? I don't mind waiting in line. There's one ride that I absolutely hate waiting in line for because I feel like the line never moves and everybody's just squished together even more than usual, and that is the line for the ride, Radiator Spring Racers. I love that ride so much. It's one of my favorite rides. But that line, it's always so ridiculously long, and if you don't get a fast pass, you have to wait, or you single ride it, which I'm okay doing, but I don't really want to. But that line is ridiculous, and it always is ridiculous, and it makes me angry when I go up there and I see that it's like 2 hours long, and I'm like, ugh. Okay, and the longest book I own is It's by Stephen King. I recently just hauled it. My girlfriend's actually reading it, so that's why there's a bookmark. I have not started it, but this is like probably the biggest book I own. It's over 1,100 pages. Number 10, Fast Pass, a book you read in one sitting. So they just added a bunch of Fast Passes to Disneyland, which I'm really excited. And the one Fast Pass that I'm the most excited that they recently added is the one that they added to Toy Story Mania in California Adventure, because that line is always like 45 plus minutes long, and I can't. I will sometimes have like 4 Fast Passes at a time, which I don't even know how that's even possible, but I will have them like 4 at a time. And I'm like, how did we end up with 4 Fast Passes at the time? Like, usually you can maybe get away with 2. I don't know how I usually end up with 4 Fast Passes, which is why my girlfriend has given me the title of a Fast Pass Queen. So the book that I read in one sitting is, you probably can't see it because it's on my tablet and on my e-reader, but it's called The Book of Awesome. You can't see that. I don't know why I'm showing you. It's called The Book of Awesome by Neil Pasricha. And this is actually a really cool, unique book, and it's literally what it sounds like. It is the Book of Awesome. So every chapter has something that makes you feel great. And for example, the other side of the pillow. You know, when you're in bed and you turn your pillow around and it's like nice and clean and fresh. Awesome feeling. When cashiers open up new checkout lanes at the grocery store. Awesome feeling. Wearing underwear just out of the dryer. Awesome. So this book is just filled with like little things like that. Little tiny things that we overlook on our everyday lives that we should see and appreciate. Alright guys, so that is it for my Disneyland book tag. I'm not gonna tag specific people because I don't know who's a Disney fan and who is not. But if you are a Disney fan, I tag you. Tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next time.